Feds, we're not going to do this. And they say, oh, you don't want your highway money? Oh, you don't want us to pay for your Social Security? You don't like the Medicaid reimbursements? You don't like the farm subsidies?
You're not saying there's extortion involved with this?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so
right.
That's why I recommended early in this conversation that we grow up and stand on our own.
Absolutely. No, and we have got to have an adult conversation in Washington to understand what is going to
Who's
happen
the adult?
Well, there isn't one
All right,
now.
so
as far, I mean,
it's hypothetical
that's
adult.
the problem. No, but I think you've got too many people that only care about getting reelected to really address the problems, and to that is not why we're sent to Washington. That's not why we get paid, and it's just like the budget this year, Jan. The reason we don't have a budget for the first time in history in the federal government is because people don't want to take tough votes.
This is unfair, but I want to pile a really, really, really tough soundbite on you because Iowa just sent off another delegation, couple thousand, almost 3,000.
3,200.
Yeah, military people to Afghanistan. And I just heard yesterday former Ambassador John Bolton talking about Iran. Mm-hmm. Here's what he said.
Well, Israel's got a problem because once the fuel rods are inserted into the reactor, an attack on the reactor would almost certainly release radiation into the atmosphere, given where Bushehr is located, right on the Persian Gulf, possibly into the water as well. So from Israel's point of view, if they were going to do anything militarily about Bushehr, they've only got a few days until the fuel rods are inserted. Their problem is, of course, they've got the rest of Iran's nuclear weapons program, the uranium.
All right, so he basically says if Israel is going to take out that new Russian-backed reactor, they're going to only have 2 or 3 days to do it.
Right.
That's kind of a scary kind of a thing. An ambassador almost saying, Israel, you better do it now if you're going to do something. The second part of this is we've got people, we sent them to Iraq to keep weapons of mass destruction out of the hands of Saddam. We sent the people to Afghanistan to keep that region stable so as the Taliban doesn't have an undue influence in Pakistan, so nuclear weapons don't fall into the hands of another group of unstable people, while Iran is just a few days away from that. And what are we doing about that?
Not much, as you can tell. I mean, we've tried this diplomatic route, being nice. If we talk nice to these unstable people over there that are running Iran today, that somehow they'll come along and they won't do bad things. Well, I mean, Ambassador Bolton is absolutely correct. The only thing that people like that understand is the sheer power. And if you don't have any kind of consequence for these people when they do the things,
are we hoping that Israel does something?
That's about, well, you know what
is that the best we can do? Hope the Israelis will do the dirty work for us?
A major concern I have is that this administration is sending mixed messages to Israel whether or not we would support them if in fact they did act in self-defense by taking out these reactors. Israel isn't sure if their best ally supposedly in the world is going to be with them. And that is a horrible message to send around the world that we're wavering. We don't quite know where we are.
Would we be with them if they attack
I'm not
Iran?
sure because the president has sent very mixed messages in his support for Israel, and that he would stand behind in case of those type of what are needed in certain cases to stand up and really stop what is you're giving nuclear weapons to a crazy man over there.
Well, all right. We use that argument to take out Saddam.
Right.
All right. Do we just waste the last 8 to 10 years and bankrupt our country for no good reason?
We have a tremendous opportunity to, with Iraq now we have a fledgling democracy there. They still have problems. They're going to have problems going forward for a period of time. But to have a great ally in Iraq, in that part of the world, which is very unique. The other ally is Israel, and we've got to stand behind both of them because we have people such as in Iran who want to destroy, annihilate Israel, who want to have that state removed from the whole region, and will do anything, and they will. is nonsensical to any rational person, obviously, of what they're trying to accomplish over there. But we've got to, the only way you can fight these things are to stand up, be strong, have a very clear message to them that this type of activity will not be tolerated.
Congressman Tom Latham is our in-studio guest. We have one last segment remaining with him, and then we're going to talk with, I think, Senator Rick Santorum right here on 1040 WHO Radio.
I'm Michelle Laughlin. My husband Doug and I are the new owners of Total Mobility. We have a lifetime of experience and knowledge in mobility needs. In fact, I've been in a wheelchair all of my life.
I'm Doug Laughlin. Whether your need is a lowered floor minivan, a transfer seat or lift for your vehicle, a stair lift or ramp for your home, we will work tirelessly to make sure your needs are met.
In fact, I use all of the products we provide at Total Mobility. You'll get compassionate care from a team that cares about you.
We're the largest mobility business in Central Iowa. Visit us at go-totalmobility.com or 515-961-05.
Anyway, back to conversation. We're talking with Congressman Tom Latham here in the studio with us. Let's go right to Sam with a great question. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Jan. How are you? How's Tom?
I'm doing great.
Doing great. I, of course, am for repeal and replace on the health care bill. But I also believe that these people, our current administration, are not free market capitalists. There's something else. And we need to repeal almost everything that this man has done. Do you believe that the Republican Party is willing to stand up if we take over the House, put forth a budget that is truly physically responsible, and stand there and allow him, if he has to shut the government down as we did in the early 90s?
All right, that's an interesting point. We're just about out of time because confidence level in both parties is an all-time low. What makes you guys think you can do better when you're back in power?
I can assure you that when there is a change of leadership, change of majority, that these is a lot of the things in the health care bill, we can limit funding like the 16,000 new IRS agents so that a lot of these things cannot be enacted. What you're going to see is a battle royale on the budget, and we will win.
Views expressed are those of the host, guests, and callers, not necessarily those of News Radio 1040 WHO.
Welcome aboard, friends. We are broadcasting live from the Crystal Studios. I thought when I watched Senator Chuck Grassley